dude, do we come up with a name for the thing? Like a name?
Like for the show thing,
Mm-hmm.
I think if it turns into something, we name it. But for
Okay,
now,
okay,
I think
okay.
I think it's fine.
For now, we're just talking about Marvel Rivals characters.
Here, what if,
Ones.
real quick, what if we start off really easy and say every character that is on this list that is not in the game?
Okay.
Well, I guess you go your list because you just have just the leaked ones.
Yeah, I have just the leak list. Okay. So, Human Torch, Hawkeye, Captain America, Cloak and Dagger, Ultron, Moon Knight, Squirrel Girl, Black Widow, Venom, Thor, Mr. Fantastic, Winter Soldier, Blade, Adam Warlock, Jeff the Landshark, Psylocke, Wolverine, Invisible Woman, The Thing, and Iron Fist, Lin Lee. Lin Lei? Lin Lee. I'm gonna say Lin
I
Lee.
think it's Lin Lee.
Lin Lee? Okay, that makes sense. Um, who? You said you highlighted some people.
I highlight a lot of people.
Are you the most excited about?
The most excited
Who's at the
about,
top of your list?
at the top of my list, I'm gonna just be completely transparent with you, is Venom. Simply because during the alpha, played a frick ton of Spider-Man, obviously, that's my boy. And Venom is obviously closely tied to Spider-Man. I'm just hoping that I'm hoping at least they have a team up, but there's no way they don't have a team up. You know what I mean?
With
But
the team ups,
I'm also looking forward to it because he might be a duelist, but he's probably gonna be a tank because he's a big boy, soak up them bullets and shit. So definitely Venom.
I'm really excited to see like what they do because I would love to see a tank that has like maybe not as like low of a cooldown and as like readily available as Spider-Man swing, but like a tank that has a swing that maybe he can like swing and like his swing will actually like push people back if he's like or something.
Yeah.
That would be sick. to,
Like a
have this, big
hefty
body.
mobile tank.
Yeah, like a slower swing, but he can kind of like get there and just dunk and maybe like
Yeah.
push somebody back, make some space, as like tanks are supposed to do in these kind of games.
All right.
but yeah, with the team ups, like these, like not only are they're like this character that like is gonna be cool, but like you also got to think about the team up and like who they're gonna work with, and it's super sick. Like I think
Yeah.
it's super duper cool.
I really just I literally all I want, the only thing I want, the reason he's top of my list, just give me a team up where he gives Spider-Man the symbiote. That's it. That's all I want.
Black Suit Spider-Man is gonna be sick.
Because there's a million things they could do with that. They could do it to where it's an ability and it's like a damage buff. They could do it to where she gets new abilities. They could even do it to where it like Venom himself just goes on to Peter and the character I don't know. They could do it. They could do a ton of stuff with it.
They could do that. Like yeah, they could definitely do that. I want to come back to symbiotes later, but I think that'd be cool. Like I think him being able to buff Peter and Penny, which there have like been some leaks where like people talking about him throwing some symbiote on Peter and Penny Parker.
Yeah.
And being able to do that, which would be so cool. Like that'd be so
Gas.
cool. There's only one
So gas.
3-person, or like more than 2-person synergy right now, and it's with like Hulk and Iron
Doctor
Man,
Strange, yeah.
It's not very like interactive
Yeah.
as some other ones are. It's kind of just like it's there. And
That's a good point. I feel like a lot of them right now aren't. No, yeah, I would say most of them aren't super interactive. I feel like they're just like, oh, these two, boom, damage boof.
Their
buff.
abilities are a little better.
Yeah. I'm hoping there's more that are like very like interactive and that you actually have to do something to activate the team up ability. Because I would argue that like the one that does that the most right now is like Rocket and Punisher or something like that.
Yep.
And even then it's like,
I'm super duper excited for Moon Knight. I read all the comic.
I was gonna say what was yours? What was your favorite? Because I think your favorite is my number 2 favorite. But yep, Moon Knight.
I read the whole comic reading order just now. Like I just read it, up to like 2019, and super invested in Moon Knight. I love like in these games, especially like with even like I can time like Overwatch and similar games. I love playing the quick, like get in their DPSs where there's a little bit more close combat instead of just hit scanning. And I think Moon Knight hopefully will be like that, even if he is more of a projectile, which I don't see him doing.
I don't know how they could do that. I feel like he has to be.
He is. I'm so looking forward to him, and like I've been thinking about it so much, like what they're gonna do for Moon Knight's abilities, and other than the fact that he'll probably glide, it's really hard.
Yeah, you have no idea. You have no idea. Because the thing with someone like Moon Knight is like Spider-Man in the alpha, for example. He's a mink, you know. He's just got to get in there. But the thing about that is he can swing in mink, and swing out. Whereas someone like Moon Knight, like you said, like other than gliding, the mobility isn't really there. So it's or maybe like a grappling hook, like you mentioned.
You can always give him grappling hooks.
But it's like he for a guy who like mainly just punches people. There's like video game wise, I can't think of much you can do to make him. Because there's no way he's a tank. There's not much you can do to him without like altering his character to get him in combat and just it's got to be something with the crescents. You've got to have like throwable crescents that are like hit scan rather than, you know, time to travel. Like there has to be something because there's no way he can get in and get out if he's just gonna be punching.
And throughout like the comics that I have read, they like the way he like fights varies so much. Like he has so many different gadgets that only use sometimes. Like in the beginning, he only like exclusively used the crescent darts like Batman, where it would be like there's a gun, that's the only time he threw them, and it was a lot of like the truncheon is what he calls little sticks that you would send to a staff, or like he used grappling hook a little bit, and then he started using more of the crescents, less the stick. So and then sometimes he has powers and sometimes he doesn't. So like. They have so much stuff that they can like pull from for, like,
to make it work. Yeah,
like
for
all
sure.
this like different stuff that they can use in this kit.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited to see what they do with that because I really hope that it's fun and that it is like it. I not only want it to be fun, I want it to have a decently high skill ceiling to where like. You can do some cool stuff. I want to be able to put time into this character and be able to do cool stuff at the end.
Which I feel like with anybody who's gonna be the kind of like you have to get in there and fight, like you got to get close to fight. Oh, if they're not a tank, I mean, like Spider-Man, Moon Knight, all those guys, there's definitely gonna be. You're gonna need to be skillful. You're gonna have to know what you're doing because you can't. If you're not able to just sit in the back with Punisher's turret. And mow some kids down, then you gotta know what you're doing.
Okay.
With that being said, though, hold on, segue really quick for somebody I do want to talk about. Because there's another person on this list who's like a given that you're guaranteed to get, who's kind of in the same caliber as the two guys we were just talking about, which is Wolverine.
Yep, yeah, I was about to say.
Because that Mofrika is another mink just with claws. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's nothing.
It's gonna be so hard for them to like, in my head, to make like not just a Black Panther kid. Right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be so hard to make
because because all I can think of him to do is maybe he has like. Maybe he crawls around. He goes beast mode and crawls around on all fours as a means of being quick or something. Because like all I can think of is like, okay, you could do something with his smell or sense of smell. I don't know what you do, but you could do something with that. Obviously, as the claws. What would be sick, which you kind of have to as Wolverine, is use the healing factor somehow. Yep. And then use like you could do like a damage buff with like. I'm feeling rabid, and then he just like,
and then also hopefully they'll put it everybody. I feel like everybody who knows Wolverine and is in this game and like wants Wolverine They all want the fastball special team up.
Oh my
Everybody
God,
wants to
yes.
thrown, bro.
Oh my
Everybody
God.
wants to thrown. Like,
You and your
that was
homie
like,
go Hulk and Wolverine. You just
Hey,
Bob.
like another person who come out with Thing. They could do it with Thing too.
like
Like,
yeah,
you
you could,
throw
you
'em.
could, you
Like,
could.
You could do it with like every big homie. Like and
Yeah.
that would just give Wolverine an extra movement. That would be
Mhm.
super sick.
That's true.
That'd be really
And then have maybe not even have it like I mean it would be sick to do damage, but be able to just launch that homie like across the map and have him have like a area of effect where people get stunned or something when he lands. Like that would be sick.
That would be crazy.
That would be
like,
sick.
If you get it in the back line, hits the healer, like Wolverine just deletes the healer with like
That would be
whatever
gas.
damage he has.
God, that would be gas.
So Wolverine obviously gonna be a DPS. There's no way they
Yeah.
do anything else with it.
Has to be.
What do you think they're gonna do with Captain America?
Like what class is he gonna be in?
Yep. I feel like that's one of the hardest ones to place because I
It
feel
is.
like they could do a lot of things with Captain
I
America.
I think the basic answer, and this is the one I probably most believe, is duelist. Just because I feel like his kit is like Spider-Man, Moon Knight,
He's a
Wolverine. You're kind of like they need to be duelists, like they need to fight, but at the same time you're like, okay, how do you justify that? Like, what are their abilities? Captain America, I feel like, is like, okay, he's a fighter, he needs to fight, and on top of that, his util is already there. Like, boom, shield, boom, throw shield, boom, fist. You know what I mean? And like, if you really needed to, you could throw it. You could give him a pistol or something. You know, like, I feel like he could be. But you bring up a good point. Like, there's no way he's healer, but like he could be
He could
a
really
tank.
easily be a tank. I want him to be a tank.
That would be
Really
sick.
bad.
That would be sick.
I really want him to be a tank, but I don't know if they're gonna.
I don't think they will, just because like. And chime in, because off the top of my brain I can't think of anything, but like other than the shield and just making him a hefty big body, I don't know what you would do with him as tank. You know what I mean?
I'd say like the only other ability I'd give him is like he's Captain America. Give him like a buff. Give him like a
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Like a area of
Like
effect,
that's fair.
he can hold the shield
Like a
up,
morale
like,
boost type
do
thing.
like a morale boost. Like give everybody
all
around him a buff.
all American characters in the vicinity get a damage boost.
He's holding the shield and just goes assemble, and then everybody just goes faster. Like,
All Avengers
everybody-
and American characters get a damage boost.
Everybody gets like a little bit of shield on over their head.
Yeah.
Around it.
No, that's
That
valid.
would be,
That
no,
would
I
be
think that'd
sick.
great.
It would also be cool if they made him a tank, because you have to make him kind of a big body, you know, like even Doctor Strange kind of just his cloak takes up space, you know.
Like,
Just
yeah,
give that
yeah,
man some.
broad
I know, I was about to say, give that man some broad shoulders, some big pecs. That'd be pretty gas.
Dude, I don't know who else you're excited for, like on this list, like super, like I could maybe pick some people that you want, but another person that I'm really excited
Say it.
purely because a game, and it's not who you're thinking of, purely because of like the way I think she would be put into this game. Invisible Woman as a util character.
Oh, okay.
I don't think anyone's thinking it, but I think she would be an absolutely amazing. She could be a tank too if you just went with shields like Doctor Strange.
Nah.
Gave her like some, but I think she would be a sick util character where like I could be wrong, but she's definitely like been able to like make stairs and stuff and like make platforms.
Yep.
With her stuff, where like maybe you could put like some platforms around the map, or you could like lift people in the air like Life Freezer does in
That would be
Overwatch.
pretty gas.
Or like, and she'd have bubbles, and maybe she could like turn homies invisible, or like she turn herself invisible for one, which would be like.
Yeah, that's already like that
hard
one's.
balls to kill.
Yeah, that one's interesting though.
I
Because
think
like
her gameplay mechanics could be goated. They could be.
I think so
really,
too.
really good.
Like the invisible thing is interesting to me because from like a video game standpoint, do you think they would make her fully invisible? Like you can hear her walk. Say all your team died, you're Invisible Woman, you're the only one left, you go invis. They can hear your footsteps but can't see you at all, or do you think it would be like you're slightly visible but you're mostly invisible?
I think, as with a lot of other abilities they've done in this game, they're gonna kind of take a little bit of like inspiration from Overwatch and make it so she's invisible, but if she's right freaking next to you, you can kind of see her a little.
Okay,
So that way they can't just stall point infinitely.
That's fair.
So like if you see her like right next to you, like, oh, freaking smash her or something.
There's a lot of things they could do with her too, because even if she is like fully invis, they could just make it to where, obviously you'd have a cooldown, but they could also make it to where she's invis and then you hit her and it goes away and it immediately goes to cooldown type thing.
That would be really good. Like she could be super duper cool. What you wanna just go rest of the Fantastic Four?
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Move on. Human Torch.
Human Torch.
DPS.
Yes.
There's nothing else I can do.
Yeah, I don't know. Human Torch is like Human Torch would just be in the category of like cool characters that are guaranteed fun. He would just be a Moon Knight, a Spider-Man, freaking, you know, Iron Man. He would just be someone you just
being another Iron Man.
Yeah, I was about to say, you literally just, I want to fly and shoot stuff. You just go up, throw fireballs. You know what I think would be
like dashes in the air?
Yeah, you know what I think would be like a cool ability for him would be like a wall of fire. Whether that's like whether that's like a like you draw it type thing. I think that would be cool rather than like a Groot wall where you just place it. I think it'd be cool if you could like draw it with your
draw it the way you want.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, maybe they do something where like you get to like dash, but you leave a trail, and you can like
that would be
move as
sick.
you're dashing to make like the wall or whatever you want to do, and then the fire would come up behind you.
That would be cool.
That'd be pretty sick, like a little speed thing where you could just like curve around corners.
That would be
like,
cool.
Do like a little zigzag.
I think Human Torch ult also should just straight up just be going like supernova, like just. Oh my god, you know what would actually be sick? Is if it's like does damage but also blinds you.
Oh, dude.
That would be sick.
I'm bringing in like so many other games, but like Raw or Smite, bro. Like you literally just go up there, you do like a burn attack where maybe they'll get like a instant damage with some damage over time that like could combat healing a little bit. And then you blind them like a flashbang.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I think that would be sick. Like he just goes up, he's like, "I'm going supernova!" It just explodes, and everyone, including your teammates, like everyone looking at it gets blinded, but enemies get damage.
I don't think they're gonna make you blind.
They won't, but that would be sick.
There's nothing else in the game right now that like you affect you cut your teammates like that other than the group walls.
Yeah. I think they should though, because think about it. If you just blind the, I mean, I guess it's just like any other game where you get blinded, but
also, what other Fantastic Four? Do you think they're gonna do a full, all four of them Fantastic Four team up synergy?
Oh, they have to.
They have to, right?
Yeah, there's no way they don't. I mean,
but like,
yeah, that's one that's like based off what we have now. I think that's literally just gonna be like, you have all four damage boost. You know, health buff. So, like something, because
gets a health buff.
Yeah.
Torch and Mr. Fantastic get damage boost.
Yeah,
because it has like some healing ability.
Exactly. Because there's not much like actually, because while like we said earlier, I do want to see more people have like actual synergies where you have to do something to use it. But like with them, there's not much you can do on that front. Which like I would understand if they were just like, okay, damage buff, health buff, whatever it may be.
Maybe like I could see maybe they do like Human Torch, Invisible Woman, the bubbles, or like her stuff that she creates gets like a burn effect maybe.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like that's kind of a reach, but maybe go for that. I don't know.
It would be cool if they figured out some way to do it, but I don't know. But at the same time, yeah, I think they definitely have to do a.
Are they gonna give Reed Richards the ultimate nullifier so he buddy or what? Because that would be.
You cut out. What did you say?
Are they gonna give Reed Richards the ultimate nullifier so he can, as his ult, and he just silences the whole team?
that would be pretty sick.
That'd be really good. He just kind of whips it out. The blicky did beep, and then everybody changes abilities for a bit.
That'd be pretty gas. All right. There's one character I want to talk about because I'm surprised we haven't. Actually, well, there's a bunch of characters I want to talk about, but there's one specifically that we haven't talked about, which is surprising because you're in this call right now.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Which is Thor. Because what the frick? Thor is like, granted, there's not much to say about Thor. He's kind of like,
he's pretty.
You know what you're gonna get. Like, he's gonna
lightning hammer.
He's gonna be He's gonna be a duelist. He's gonna have a hammer. He's gonna have lightning. He can fly. Boom. There it is.
I can see him being a tank.
You think so?
He
is a big boy.
I can see him being a very like divey tank with good damage.
That's fair.
I can see him doing it.
Oh, that's fair.
Maybe like a little dash. He's got the hammer throw, just kind of blink.
I feel like he would be more fun in like a DPS role though, like more fast paced. You know what I mean?
And he would definitely be more fast paced, and he'd be super cool. But I could see him being it, especially because they made Hulk a tank. And
yeah.
Hulk and Thor are very like known to.
Yeah.
You know.
But like.
Bust balls with each other.
And his like, you already know what you're gonna get with him. The only thing I would question, and this is a very, very like nitpicky thing, but the only thing I would question on him is, because you know he's gonna be able to throw his hammer, is when you throw the hammer. I guess it couldn't be. It would be. It is gonna be cool though. Now that I'm thinking about it, because you're gonna have to throw it for range attacks. You're gonna have to throw it and call it back. So it's not gonna be quick. It's gonna be like throw. There's probably gonna be time to travel. Anyways, throw will be pretty fun.
Yeah, no, I think he's gonna be really cool. I would love to see an alt where like, I want to see Thor have like one. I don't want to see Thor have like a one. Like you can tell certain people have like quicker, faster charging. I want to see Thor have a big ult.
Yeah,
that's one thing that I think they really need to do with that. Where like he does a lot of damage, a lot of area effect.
They could do a lot of. Yeah, I was about to say they could do a lot of stuff.
Thunder. I want to feel like they got a thunder on them.
Yeah. But what I've noticed about this game though is that it's cracked because like, just the alpha alone, there's at least. We'll just say 5. At least I'm sure I could find the exact examples, but there's at least 5 characters who like their E ability makes you go, is that their ult? It's not, you know what I mean? So like Thor could be really fun because he'll probably be his E will probably be a lightning storm or a thunderstorm, like, and then and then his ult is something even crazier or something. Hold on, give me one sec.
Is it teleporting Doctor Strange's ult? Baby. Nah, but it's got a cooldown.
Anyways,
ult, bro.
I'm back.
What do you think? There's not much you can do with this character. Not a whole lot. What do you think they're gonna give the thing, abilities wise? Abilities
wise, I feel like.
Well, you know he's gonna be a tank.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's gonna be a tank. Abilities wise, you know what I think would be like kind of a cool thing for him, is because like I know in the comics a lot his thing is like, I'm the thing, I can break anything, and he'd just be grabbing poles and like bending them and shit. I think a cool thing for like just. A super simple, super easy ability because, like you said, he's the things. What are you gonna do with him? Just have him. You remember? Okay, you remember Lego Marvels? When you for the tanks for Hulk and the thing and all that, you can like hold down a button and they like kick up a boulder from the ground.
The rock.
Just give him that. Just give him that. That's a super, super, and just give it a little cooldown. Super easy. There's already environmental destruction. Just have him, you know, instead of, you know, something gets destroyed, he just takes it from there.
I actually have zero clue what they're gonna do with the thing at all. I can't think of something. I feel like whenever I try to think alt, I can usually think of something they can do.
He just doesn't do anything.
That's the rock. Maybe that's the rock. He just picks up a giant rock and slams it on the ground.
Slams it on the ground. I mean, I guess.
I don't know what they're gonna do for the thing.
It's gotta be like.
It's gonna be super fun to just hear. It's clobbering time.
Yeah, that your echo throughout the map. You're like, oh
come here, cupcake. And it's your ever-loving blue-eyed thing.
I think like. His ult would just have to be him saying it's clobbering time and just going on like a ramp. Like, you know, however many seconds he just gets
maybe
a health buff and a damage buff, and that's
they
just...
did Marvel Future Fight, right? Like his ult in Marvel Future Fight. I don't know if they're going to take this from this. But he does. He kind of like jumps and does like slams on the ground. Like really like lands. And maybe they give him like 3 big jumps and he's just doing damage right
That's true.
It
would have to just be... Because even the Hulk's, I mean, I know he's Bruce Banner and he's whatever, but even his, technically, he can go like Berserker mode, you know, like he just hulks out or whatever. it would just have to be some sort of like, I'm angry and I'm gonna do more damage now, and that's it. You know, I don't know what else they could do.
Things gonna be very, very simple. Where are you at? Where do you think Psylocke's going? I want to jump to another character.
I have no idea. She's one I don't know. Because even just her as a character, she's just kind of all over the place with her powers and abilities and like how she uses it. She's just kind of like, I don't know. Obviously, she's not a tank, but like I don't know whether she would be DPS or
support.
Yeah.
And I could see. I think they're gonna do DPS because she does a bunch of swords and stuff.
Yeah.
Time lady. I'd love to see her as a support with using an energy buff maybe.
Yeah.
But there's not much like I don't know that much about Psylocke other than the fact that she does energy blades and stuff. Along with like Squirrel Girl.
Yeah.
I don't know what the frick they're gonna do with
Squirrel. I think Squirrel Girl has to be support. Obviously, I think she like. Well, I say obviously, but like I think she does just because. I feel like they're also kind of going with, which I like. I feel like they're kind of going with They're kind of going with the characters in a way, like your big guys, your tanks, obviously whatever, but even like healers and stuff. Like Loki's a perfect example. Loki is like, you could before the game came out, you could make the argument that okay, he's gonna be, he could be a DPS, whatever, but like. He's the not wanted stepchild who doesn't like to fight. You know what I mean? So boom, okay, let's make him a support. Stuff like that. Like Squirrel Girl, you could make the argument for her being a DPS. You could, but it's like she's happy. She's rainbows. She's sunshine. She can still do damage. She's gonna be a Loki type where she still can do damage, but she's 100% gonna be support.
I just thought of. I said I didn't know what they would do with her. I thought of a great ability. Like a Zenyatta, or maybe get squirrels to attack people, and while they're being attacked by the squirrels, they just take more damage.
That would be gas. You know what's funny? I thought the opposite. I thought you get your squirrels to just hop on and ride your teammates, and they act as a shield, and while they're on them, they heal them.
The squirrels are just gone. The squirrels are just sitting on their back, just. Or they just hop on your back and start massaging your shoulders.
Oh, that's nice. They definitely, with her though, they can definitely do a lot of stuff. She's definitely gonna be support though.
Maybe just make the squirrel up. Maybe the squirrel start shooting lasers. I don't know.
Maybe
they start doing that.
They definitely could do a lot with her though.
There are two characters I think are gonna be very similar in the way they play. So
okay.
I kind of we can just talk about them together. I think. And they're both the two, I'd say, I'm looking at the list right now, the two most OP people in it. Ultron and Adam Warlock.
Yep.
And I think they're both going to be laser shooty characters.
Yep.
They're both going to be very good. And they're both going to be sick. Because me personally, I am more of a fan of Ultron.
Yeah.
But I also love Adam Warlock. They're both really, 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 really cool.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they're both, comic-wise, they're both powerful as balls. So like game-wise, you feel like they definitely should be. I think you're right too. Like there's no way they don't play similarly. The only difference is, I hope they incorporate Ultron bots somehow.
Yeah.
In some way.
Can bring in some bots.
Yeah.
See, I want to see that really, really bad, but I don't want it to be a thing where like him and Dr. Doom do the same thing.
That's fair.
Too. But I don't know who I'd rather bring in bots, him or I think Ultron should over Doom, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too, because I think if they were to ever add
it's more
Doom,
of an Ultron thing than a Doom.
Exactly, and Doom has more outside of that.
He's got other things.
He's got so many other things he can do, whereas Ultron is
Doom's
just
got science,
a robot.
Doom's got magic, Doom's got Ultron just got time. I'd love to also, not on the list, I really want to see whatever they put Hank Pym in as this game, Hank Pym Ultron synergy, baby.
That would be sick.
That would be sick.
Okay, see, this, we gotta talk about this for a second, because this is where the game gets, like, crazy, because this is the first ever, realistically, the first ever, like, multiplayer Marvel game. Like, big scale multiplayer Marvel. Modern, I should say.
That didn't get in the hands of the media.
And yeah, exactly. And so, like, it's crazy because right now they're doing a good job, and the alpha was, yeah, for real. And the alpha was, like, great, and everybody's loving it. But, like, they did such a good job and made it so just clean, and they just made it work so well that there's things that we're not questioning that we should be questioning. Like, for example, okay, you add a character, like, granted, they haven't said they're going to, but, I mean, this is Marvel. Like, this is the first time that you've had to, for an online game, make superhero a bit. Because if this was a single-player story game, you could just throw in cinematics, and you wouldn't have to be online. It wouldn't be as laggy, and you could test the game, and yada yada. You could do all these abilities, which, why haven't they? But that's another topic. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, it brings up a good point, because as of the alpha, the most, what's the word? The most, I don't know, the craziest thing they went for example, was the Doctor Strange portals. And, like, it works, and it's cracked, and it's sick, but at the same, obviously, they need to kink it a little bit, because, like, it was laggy as balls. Yeah.
All of our games crashed.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, that's a perfect example of, like, them trying something different that hasn't been done in any game, because they can, because it's Marvel, and it's because he's characters. So you bring up a good point, which, again, they haven't said they're going to, but if they were to add somebody like Ant-Man / Giant Man, like, it's cool because, like, okay, how do you do that? But then it's also like, can you do that? I don't know. It's an interesting thing.
I would love to see, like, Ant-Man be hard to hit, lower health pool. Giant Man big to hit.
Yeah.
Bigger health pool. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't even know what he like. We don't need to get too into it. He's not even on the.
Exactly. That's true.
Like, it's how they gonna do that? What's he gonna be? A tank? He's gonna be a tank that shrinks.
It's just like characters like that are like we've already talked about some characters where it's like, okay, here's what they could be. Here's most likely Thor. You already know what you're getting. You know, this sort of, or somebody like the Thing. Like, you know what you're getting, but what is he gonna do? That sort of thing. But there's certain characters that you're like, how? And again, we don't need to get too deep into it because they haven't confirmed anything. But it's like, huh? What? So, anyways.
I mean, jumping back on the Adam Warlock side, you think they're gonna make use of, like, he's got the Soul Stone, right? I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
What do you think they're gonna use that? Like, you think they're gonna let him use maybe like trap a homie in the Soul Stone for a little bit, like a CC?
I mean, yeah, I feel like they would have to, right?
Maybe
There's
it's
no
like
way.
a PE gets like the portal, like not at all.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Really good to be able to suck somebody off their team for a little bit. And
Yeah.
stasis.
I mean, yeah, I feel like they would have to. I feel like there's no way you can just kind of dance around that. Yeah, I would say they would.
That'd be sick. Also, I want to see him fly a lot. That's just a little thing.
Also, really quick, we did not talk about one of the Fantastic Four members, arguably
Enough.
the one. No, just the one. We didn't talk about Mr. Fantastic.
No, I just talked about it all. But yeah, we really didn't talk about it.
What is he gonna be? What is he gonna do?
See,
because that man, even in the comics, yeah, he's stretchy. Everybody knows that.
He's
that man
smart.
he's just a brain. So is he just gonna be doing science while you're okay? Hey, we gotta push the wagon, concocting a potion.
Could be every single role. If you like really stretch it.
That's what I was thinking. You have no idea what he's gonna be.
He takes up space. He could be a DPS where he's just swinging his arms around and pulling or something. He could be a sciencey.
Yep. That's what. I know there's only 3 classes, but because that's the thing too is you could make the argument for, okay, Human Torch is obviously going to be DPS.
Mm-hmm.
The Thing's obviously going to be tank. Invisible Woman is obviously going to be, well, not obviously, but I think she's going to be support. Most likely. So it's kind of like, okay, boom, they take up one of each class. That leaves Mr. Fantastic. He could literally be anything. He could be anything.
He could be any of them.
Because he could just be a sciencey nerd who's, you know... I think the only guaranteed thing is that he has, I say guaranteed. The only thing I want guaranteed, like if they were to come out right now and be like, yes, he's gonna be in the game. Here's what he does. Only thing I need is this goofy ass nerd. To one of his abilities is he just stretches around someone and like holds them in a stationary for like 5 seconds, and you can just mink, 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 and he's like, well, golly gee.
That'd be sick. Or maybe like hammer arm or something.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
There's so much. That's
there's a lot they
can do. Characters where it's like, well, he's got one ability. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can literally do whatever you want. You can make him stretch to whatever he needs to be.
Yeah.
And it's gonna work. It's gonna work as long as like you flesh out the abilities and make sure it's balanced. It's gonna work.
Yeah.
He's gonna be. I think he's gonna be super fun. As long as I don't see the Fantastic Four getting, especially nowadays with the movies and like the way MCU is, I don't see them getting like those Spider-Man people that are like, I'm just gonna play Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
care about the meta. They're only gonna be played, I think, if they are good.
Yeah. Well, and that kind of goes back to like their team up abilities. I think if their team up abilities are not worth, nobody's playing them unless it's their favorite characters. Which, unless you were born in the '60s, none of the Fantastic Four are your favorite characters.
So it's like
I don't think there's, unless they're just absurd on their own or their team up ability is absurd. You're definitely not going to get people 4-stacking them, and you're most likely not going to get anybody playing them in general.
Die-hard Fantastic Four fans, drop it in the comments.
You said die-hard Spider-Man fans. He was talking about me. Like, you have a ton of those homies. Moon Knight nowadays has gotten absurdly popular. He's probably going to have a bunch of people who are like, I'm playing Moon Knight.
Wolverine.
Yeah, Wolverine's going to have... surprise people, every time I see people talk about this game, they're like, dude, we could get... Even before this list was leaked, they're like, we could get Jeff the fucking Land Shark. This would be sick. This game's going to be sick.
I love how we haven't talked about it. We've been saving it.
We have. I was trying to say, but Jeff's gonna be in the game, baby. That's gonna be gas.
Jeff is gonna be so fun.
Like the fact that they even thought to even if it's a fake list, right? The fact that somebody out there was like, let's get these guys. Let's put Jeff on the list. That's gas. I mean, come on. That's gas.
Like in a game of Marvel Snap, it's easy to implement Jeff. In a game like this,
not as easy at all.
Game,
no, this is a shooty fighty online competitive game.
I want so bad for Jeff to be a tank.
Oh, I feel like he has to be, bro.
But I want him to be a tank because that would be so funny, just watching him like swim in the ground and then just pop up and slap people around.
Well, I feel like because he's so tiny, I feel like they're just gonna slap a mech suit on him or something, and like, here's your Jeff the tank.
Well, Jeff, like, I haven't seen too much about Jeff in the comics, but he's usually on like Monster Island or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So maybe he's got some he like calls in the kaijus. I don't know.
That would be gas.
That'd be sick. Like he's got like just big monsters, big lizard guys.
That would be pretty gas.
Stepping around.
I want to go back to a few people real quick because as I'm looking at this list, I say problem, but this is something. It's not a problem. It's just something that needs to be addressed. For example, the example that we talked about was Moon Knight, and I compared to Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man, again, a mink character, but you can get out of there quick. And our example was Moon Knight. Like he's a mink, but how is he gonna get out? Type thing. Or you gotta give him just more health, or you just how's he gonna be useful without just dying every time you get up in there? You know what I mean? There's a frick ton of dudes on here who are the exact same way. Now that I'm looking at it, Blade, Iron Fist. Obviously, we talked about Wolverine already, but Blade is one of them. Iron Fist is 100% one of them.
And
Black Widow,
it's gonna be really, 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 I think, really hard for them not to make these characters too similar to where like one of them is just a better version.
Well, that too, and I think another thing is because okay, what is it? Ultimate Alliance where Deadpool can teleport. Okay, that's a perfect example. Like some of these dudes, there's got to be some ability, some defensive measure that you can add to where they're not just getting cooked. And I say this based off the assumption that they're gonna be DPS because I feel like most of these people are gonna be DPS. So it's like
I can't see Blade. I can't see
exactly.
Black Widow. Maybe you could give him some, because I can see Black Widow giving, like, she's got her like Widow bite, like little wrist shooters things. So
yeah,
she could definitely use those.
That's true.
Like a Star-Lord type thing.
That's true.
Or like she's getting up in there.
But like Iron Fist, Blade, like a lot of these dudes, I feel they're gonna have to figure something out so that they're not just getting absolutely worked, but because they have to get close. But it's also like, I hope they don't go down the road of where we're kind of gonna ignore certain things and just kind of give them a random ability. And if it's like, something kind of not stupid, but if it's like something that like
the character.
Exactly. But if it's like
there's so many characters.
Exactly. And if it's like, if they figure out some way to kind of get around it that like makes sense or like isn't too much of like a, because at the end of the day it's a Marvel game, you know, you have, well, you have Overwatch fans playing it and you have Marvel fans playing it, you have the mix, but you're going to have comic nerds who are like, what the freak? So I feel like as long as they don't go too far off like as long as they don't have my boy Lin Lee turning into a dragon and flying away, like that's don't do that, you know what I mean? But other than that, it's fine.
He can teleport.
Yeah.
That's no, I completely agree. Like if they try to stretch it, like they kind of did it, and I think they did a good job with Star-Lord. Like I think he's a good example of this.
Yeah.
Like they gave him the flips, and like he doesn't be like flipping around that much and like doing all that stuff, like where he like gets damage resistant.
Yeah.
But they did that and it worked because it's just like a little thing.
Yeah.
So if they do stuff like that, it will work. But like if Blade starts web swinging or something, yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not too worried about it too, because like they've already done a really good job. Like a character like Spider-Man is easy. Okay, he whips webs, but then it's like, okay, we want to put the Punisher in there. What do we do? Okay, well, let's give him a zip line. That's unique. It's unique, but it still falls in line with the character type thing, which I really like.
And like Black Panther with the spears, I think like intricate character. And it works with what he does.
Well, and like Black Panther's another good example just from a traversal standpoint, because he's just okay. What are we gonna do? Like he just runs fast. He just runs fast as balls, and it's like, oh, you know, that makes sense.
Give him some dashes, like it so he can refund his dashes to where.
Yeah,
that was a great idea. Honestly, I think
they did
fantastic. So another good question, I feel like, how are they not, like, you were talking about characters like maybe like being too close to other characters, like needing abilities to get out. Winter Soldier.
What are they gonna
be like Punisher, right?
Yep. I feel like the only, yeah. I mean, you're right. I feel like the only
that's gonna be tough.
The only way to make him unique is to go all in on his arm, like fully embrace, have every single ability revolve around his arm. Because you're right. The only other thing he could do is be Punisher, like just shoot guns, which. It's not like there's another game that's exactly like this with all the type of same gameplay where multiple people didn't have guns. You know what I mean? You can have multiple people with guns, but
you have a different gun. Maybe they give him a DMR and that just switches up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but I feel like outside of just he's another character with guns, they would have, because arguably you could give Cap a gun, you could give Black Widow a gun, you could give a lot of people guns. So it's like, I feel like outside of that, you'd have to just go all in on his arm in some way.
Yeah. Maybe make him like just more athletic, like really going on his like movement and stuff.
And obviously, I hope him and you know him and Captain America are gonna have a team up ability. I hope they somehow make it. I hope theirs is one, unlike the Fantastic Four, I hope theirs is one that is unique in the way that you have to activate it. Yeah. Like maybe Winter Soldier can get his shield or I don't know, something.
Oh, that would be really sick if Cap could like throw it to him.
And he could like use it, yeah. Which would be cool if they were different classes too. Like if Cap was a tank and he could like survive without his shield for an extended period of time, and so he could throw it to Winter Soldier, who's DPS, and like can use. I think that would be really cool.
That would be really, really sick. I love that. That'd be like super duper cool for like people that wanted to run that and got like good with those characters.
Yeah, exactly. Because especially if he's I think that could be cool.
I think we've only not talked and haven't spoken of 2 people.
I think I know why too, because
and one of them is Hawkeye.
Oh, never mind. Oh yeah, that's valid. Hawkeye is. We talk about a guy with guns. Hawkeye is the opposite. Okay, this mofrika.
The character itself is. I don't know why. I honestly don't know how they didn't have him in the alpha because he's perfect for a game.
Yeah.
Where he's just got a bow. And
yeah.
the bow's gonna be different.
He's definitely like some of these. I haven't seen anything other than their name on this list, but like. Hawkeye is one specifically that I've actually seen. Like, he's ready to go. I don't know why they didn't put him in the alpha, because I've seen his...
They have, like, gameplay on it?
Not gameplay, but I've seen his, like, character model and, like, his... You know, when you're on the character screen and they do, like, their animation and stuff? I've seen that. And he looks cool. I've seen that, but I haven't seen anything else of him. I feel like... Because it's Hawkeye, he just has a bow. I feel like... One, because it's part of his character, I feel like although it's a bow, I think it has to be hit scan just because it boosts accuracy. I think that...
I mean, they can give it like a little travel time. Kind of like the Tridents maybe a little bit. But
yeah, that's true.
I could see it being more like a hit scan than...
With that being said, though, I also think it should depend on... Personally, I think his abilities should straight up just be like... Okay, you press... You use an ability and it's a different arrow. You know what I mean?
The next arrow. Yep.
Because I think like his just default left click should be like a hit scan base arrow that does however much damage. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But then I think, okay, I click E for the next however many seconds for however many seconds or however many arrows I shoot, I have 5 exploding arrows that have a certain area of effect or whatever. Or like traversal, okay, I have a zipline arrow or whatever the case may be. Like I don't know what else you could do with him other than like his abilities are just boom, different arrow, boom, different arrow, boom, different arrow.
He's going to be pretty simple, and I think that's exactly what
I think that's good too. Because honestly,
for the game, he's going to be a good character.
It is, and also off the fact of like your diehard Moon Knight, your diehard Spider-Man, your diehard Thors, who are all gonna whatever. There's like a cult following behind Hawkeye, so you're gonna have some homies who are like, yes, really? Because based off some of his comics and the show is based on, but there's definitely a cult following for Hawkeye. Yeah, granted, it's usually like the homies who are like old as balls, but there's like my brother, for example. My brother is, I wouldn't say like a diehard Hawkeye fan, but he likes Hawkeye because of some of the content. So I think based off people playing this game, and you add into what you said, like him being an easy character to play, I think there'd definitely be a good amount of people who just want to play him.
Yeah, I could see him being a fun character, and people like bows. I'm not gonna lie.
There's a lot of people like bows.
That just love.
They just like
bows. Feel good in video games.
Yeah, they do.
So like,
other than they do.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be very, very sick. Hawkeye's gonna be dope. And then the other one that I saw that we haven't said anything about yet.
Say it.
Cloak and Dagger.
Yep. Cause what the fuck?
I don't. In this list that I have, they're listed in the same.
We're on the same list. They're this one is probably the most intriguing to me because they're listed in the same category.
And
like
the
it's
Doctor Strange portals were there.
Yeah, so it's like, but that's what I'm interested to see. I don't know, because their abilities,
what are they gonna do to make them
Cloak, like you said, the Doctor Strange portals are there. Cloak, especially, their abilities are super, super unique. So it's like to put them in the same, and I get categorizing them close together on a list, maybe saying Cloak and Dagger, because it's Cloak and Dagger. It's never just Cloak or Dagger. But like putting them as the same person, saying this character is Cloak and Dagger, is like,
that's crazy.
So what the one thing I thought of, which doesn't I wouldn't necessarily like, just because it doesn't necessarily coincide with actual abilities, but one thing I did think of that would be kind of cool is if they were the same person, or not the same person, but like, so say for example you start out as Cloak, and then Dagger comes out of Cloak basically, and then vice versa. You can just switch. You know what I mean? Or maybe it's like a one-time thing. You start out as Cloak and you have certain abilities, and then Dagger can come out of Cloak and Cloak goes something like that. You know what I mean? Because I feel like Dagger specifically has to be support. I feel like she has to be a healer.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
She
that
could be
makes sense.
DPS,
I can
but
see her
like
being DPS too, because like she just throws daggers.
yeah, she just throws daggers. But like just based off story stuff, like Dagger being Dagger, I could very easily see her. And again, she could be just because
Now that I
she's
think about it, them as like a duo would be a great support character. Honestly.
yeah. Well,
Like, that would be
because here's the
really
thing
good.
too, like just because she support Loki, Rocket, well, any of them doesn't mean she can't do damage. You know what I mean? I think, but I think there's no other route to go with her specifically other than support. And with that being said, like that one to me just makes sense in my head. But then if you really break it down and look at it, Cloak's definitely not DPS or tank. You know what I mean? So it's like I feel like they are support.
Yeah.
And another thing I thought of, like as we're talking about this, is for Cloak alone, just because like I don't think I would have had this thought until Valorant did it, but with ISO, give me like an ISO ult type thing with Cloak. I think that would be kind of cool.
That would be pretty sick. Like taking
Because-
out and then, like ult one.
Yeah, because Cloak is like Cloak is Cloak. You have to use Cloak as Cloak, but it's like
you teleport. You suck
yeah,
people in.
yeah, you suck people in, but it's like, okay, what do you do with that ability? You know what I mean? Is it because technically, when you suck people in, you suck people in, but from a video game standpoint, you can't just be sucking homies. Like that's OP. You can't just suck them and they're gone. Like that's OP as balls. So if it's like yeah, exactly, it's like you're just a vacuum. So there's a lot to unpack with those two, because it's like why are they listed as the same
I don't
character?
know
Why are they yada yada yada?
why I didn't think about it until you said them as a support, but just the ability to like teleport your teammates out of danger would be so good.
Yeah,
If he could just like, if like you look at somebody and like just like the Loki ult where it's like you look at people and like it like shows up the little thing that's like
Yeah.
transforming to them. Like you just had to teleport and then you just pull them back to you.
yeah.
I was Cloak real quick. That would be a great support. Like they would actually make an amazing support if they could do that. And then Dagger was like
Or
healing
like
and stuff.
even I mean you could do this, but like it'd be goofy. Even just like you store them, like you yoink,
like protect them.
or like okay, you have a Doctor Strange, you store everybody, you Doctor Strange portal, you jump through and then you let everybody go type thing. Or yeah, protect them, like I don't know what there's like both an infinite number of things they could do with him, but also like what the hell are they gonna do with him?
Do his like abilities. Yeah.
Exactly, because Dagger is easy. I feel like Dagger is support. She heals. She does some damage. Easy, light, not that big a deal. Cloak to me is like kind of confusing, and then the fact that you put them together makes it super confusing.
Yeah, it makes it super confusing. Because like if they were their own individual characters with a synergy, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But the way they're listed here makes
as
me
the same-
assume that this is the way they were data mined.
Yeah.
And that they're going to be the same character.
Yeah,
Which is
because
crazy.
those two, but then it just makes more sense, because it's like, yes, it would make sense for them to just be separate and have a team up ability, but it's like, one, it's Cloak and Dagger, but two, Dagger I can understand on her own, right? But Cloak, that homie's just a Cloak. I don't know what they would do with him that's like,
That's crazy.
you know what I mean? Other than sucky suck, and even then, what do you do with the sucky suck? So those two.
I think they're gonna have to like be the pull your teammate out of danger or like farm or something like that.
Yeah,
Because, like,
but
that
even
would
then,
be
it's like
a great
I'm
idea.
also interested to see. Okay, if they are listed as the same thing, I'm interested to see how that, because you can't control two things at once. You can't be two people at once.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see whether it's like a switcheroo situation, or it's like you're one until maybe it's like you're Cloak until you die, and then instead of dying, you're Dagger.
I'm kind of thinking maybe
vice versa?
Dagger's gonna be the one you play as, and Cloak's gonna be maybe like the ability,
Like,
like most of the
okay.
abilities, and he's just like a support, like a support.
Like a little, yeah. That I like
he
that.
Just comes out every once in a while, like when you do your abilities, you'll see.
Yeah,
come
he's
out
a certain
and do his
ability,
thing.
or even like almost like a bot that you have who just kind of helps. You know what I mean?
He's just there.
Until that would be cool.
And then the only character that I kind of disagree, unless you want to talk more about Cloak and Dagger, the only character that I kind of disagree with them adding is choosing Lindley as their option for Iron.
Yeah, that's that one's
I understand trying to make it like you're doing like your 2099, you're doing your future thing, you're doing your other stuff, you're getting your Penny Parker. But Danny Rand is so cool, man. And
that
this guy's cool.
I have okay. So here's the thing. To my knowledge, I've read 3 Lindley comics. I think, like from his newest run, whatever.
I haven't read it.
And to my knowledge, he's just Iron Fist. You know what I mean? Yeah, from the 3 issues I read, he doesn't have any extra abilities other than just being Iron Fist. So I agree, because Danny Rand's him. I mean, let's be real. Yeah, so I agree with you. Bro. With I'm not necessarily too mad about it, because having read those, like, he's still cool.
I'm not upset. He's still
not upset, but cool. Like Danny Rand is cooler. You know what I mean? Like,
why? Like,
with that being said, I'm not like, yeah, I'm fine with Lindley, but I agree. I think Danny Rand's cooler. But at the same time, it I didn't even think about it, but I think you're right. I think it's just the whole futuristic 2099, all this sort of stuff. So
yeah,
it makes sense.
Going for. Well, I think I've talked about all that I want to talk about.
I think I have too. I think we covered all the leaked characters.
We covered all the people that are in the leaked list.
And their synergies and stuff.
Maybe some extra synergies that I haven't looked at.
Maybe I think
the Black Widow Iron Man thing.
I think also only one other thing.
Iron
Obviously, Man. Wolverine and Hulk are gonna have the Cannonball special, but even if it's just a damage buff or whatever it may be, the big 3, Wolverine, Hulk, and Spider-Man, have to have a team up. They have to, because even if it's just something simple, they have to, just for the culture. But I think we covered everything. I mean, we talked about synergies, we talked about characters. What?
I want to talk about an unleaked character.
Oh.
2 unleaked characters that I want to see in the game, that I really want to see, and I think that
let's not use the word unleaked. That makes it sound like they're already in the game.
Oh. 2 characters that have not been mentioned for this
Okay,
game.
there we go.
I would like to see them in the game, and they're little ones and nobody knows about them. But they've used that in this game so far, so I'm hoping that maybe they would use it in this, because I came up really cool. First one, Silver Surfer.
Valid.
That'd be really cool.
Valid.
That'd be really cool. Just flying around, doing Silver Surfer thing, power cosmic. That would be, and he'd be fast. Like, I think he'd be a fast, mobile DPS with lasers. That would be really, really sick. Not too much on him. The other one I want is a symbiote-based hybrid as a support character. I was talking to Carson about this the other day, and for those of you who don't know who hybrid is a combination of 4 other symbiotes.
Google a picture.
Let's see who they are real quick.
Oh. I was like, why don't you just edit in the picture?
Riot. No, it's not. It's Riot, Phage, Lasher, and Agony.
Okay.
And I think they'd be a great support because, like, the idea I came up with was, like, you start out as one. It doesn't matter which one, and you can cycle between the ones you have still. But then you'd be able to throw the other 3 on teammates. And, like, they would each get an individual buff based on who they got on them, like what symbiote they have on them. And then, like, your other ability would be like a heal. Like, you would just heal the people that have symbiotes on them. Like,
that would be pretty gas.
And then the ult is they all come off, you turn into hybrid, you do some hybrid-y stuff. Hybrid's, like, really strong. So he can use, like, potentials and stuff. I think that would be such a dope idea. And they could give each individual symbiote their own buff. Like, Riot would get, like, bigger and, like, have, like, I think Riot gets bigger. And he has, like, a shield. Phage and Lasher get their, like, offensive stuff. Agony, I don't know what the Agony's got an ability. She's purple.
That would be
But I
gas.
think that'd be so sick. I think that's like I came up with that idea and I was like,
No, that's a really good idea. That would be gas. That's
such a cool.
that brings up another point too. I just feel like the only danger, and that's not dangerous, but like it's kind of dangerous. The only dangerous thing with a game like this is because it's like Overwatch. Obviously, is the comparison here. Overwatch is Overwatch. They can kind of do whatever they want in a sense of characters. Like they can just create whoever they want type thing.
Yeah.
Whereas Marvel is Marvel, and there's already thousands upon thousands upon thousands. Exactly. So it's like the only dangerous thing that I fear is there's obviously, even with just the alpha, there's obviously some very niche characters that they put in strictly for, I don't want to say strictly, but like, let's be real, strictly for commercial purposes of being like, you people like this person, let's put them in here, that sort of thing. So what I'm scared of is, one, oversaturating character, or having an oversaturation of characters. So like just putting way too many people in because it's you have an infinite database of characters to pull from. And two, putting
they're
in
already doubling it.
Exactly. That's what scares me is this list alone. If all of these are correct, then you're right. They're doubling it to almost 40, which is like oof.
And
so
that's
like
huge. That's
what scares me is, one, they've already showed that there's certain characters in here that are like in there because of pop culture and just popularity, which is fine, I get, but it's like certain characters I'm scared for my own personal bias. I'm scared of missing out on cool characters I think are cool because they don't fit the mold or whatever. And again, on top of that, I don't want, again, this is all bias and this is all opinion. So like some people may want a certain character and I may not, but yeah, well I'm saying like some people might want a certain character, some I may not want that character in.
Yeah.
And that's gonna happen, but it's like I'm scared of having way too many characters and some of those characters just being straight up garbage, you know?
Yeah. Dude, and maybe they like rush somebody that you really like, and that sucks because like everybody does like these, like everybody's got their dude, their guy. Like for a lot of people, it is Spider-Man. A lot of people love Spider-Man.
Yeah.
A lot of people really want to see freaking Moon Knight. A lot of people really want to see Deadpool, and they love Deadpool. Like,
yeah, well, and that's
trying to get like random characters.
Exactly. Well, and that's what I'm scared of too. Is like just the characters alone. One, I'm scared of them having too many. Two, I'm scared of them wasting some spots on kind of just characters I wouldn't want. And three, and the main thing is there might be some characters that I do want that just will not fit a game like that. You know what I mean? Like, are just going to be unplayable because they just won't work. And like they've done great so far. I'm sure they could find a way to make anyone work, but I don't want them to force like you were saying earlier with when we were talking about people trying to get close and them changing their abilities and stuff. I don't want them to force anybody is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. No, that's why that just came to my head because I was like, what? I was like, well, it would be so cool if you could like throw a symbiote on anybody, and I was like, bro.
Yeah.
Hybrid could do that. I feel like.
No, that would be sick.
That was just my like if you want to take the idea of NetEase, I am not gonna be mad. No suing from me. Take it. Just let me play the game.
I do hope they try, because that's honestly my only complaint, which is not even a valid complaint. I'd say it's more so just that's my only thing I wish they would do is put some more cool characters in there and make the characters have cool unique abilities that actually fit their character in the canon. I want
to see some really unique abilities that are super cool and they work well, and that's a hard thing to do. Asking, saying that is not like, that's so much easier said than done, because unique means this hasn't really been done before.
Yeah.
And we've been alive and we've been playing video games for a long freaking time.
Yeah.
So it's tough to come out with new stuff, but I think they're doing a really good job so far, and I have high hopes. W game. Hopefully it carries our content.
Also, little stuff.
Please like and subscribe.
Little stuff. Sorry, one last thing. Little stuff as well, like.
I was kidding.
Okay. Little stuff as well, like. And again, it's only an alpha, but like people have brought up really good points. Multiverses did it. So like people have brought up really good points. Like, yeah, well, it's an alpha. No, of course they wouldn't make you buy anything. Okay, Multiverses did. I know it was a beta, but like Multiverses is like, here's a beta pass, $10. Give it. The fact that and that's not to say there's not going to be any microtransactions, but I'm getting into that. The fact that off rip, they didn't make you pay for anything. All you had to do was, try your hand at getting early access. If you got a code, congrats. All you had to do was play the game to earn a unique skin. Yeah, the battle pass, but like, granted, you only got to keep a skin and a title, but all you had to do was play to get there. Mm-hmm. They didn't make you buy anything. There wasn't like, you couldn't even buy. It's not that they didn't make you. They didn't let you buy anything. Yeah. There wasn't an option to buy. So like and again, that's not to say they're not going to have microtransactions. It's going to be, but here's my thing. If it's a free game when it fully comes out, say they have a battle pass, they have all this stuff. If it's a free game with optional microtransactions, that's not everybody wins. That's not hurting anybody because
I am a strong believer that the best format of game is make the game free, make all the characters free, and then make the skins money. And people are gonna buy your skins if they're good.
My only thing with stuff like that is if you genuinely maybe not have I wouldn't use the word competitive advantage, but if you can genuinely get some sort of head start by spending money, that kind of even if the game's free, that sucks. That's not cool. But like just skins alone, like if that's all you're selling and it's completely optional,
that's gas.
Everybody wins because I'm not going to name any names, but there's some games out there where you buy the game and then you buy a DLC and then you buy a DLC and then you buy a DLC. That's stupid. That's stupid. I wasn't going to say it, but that's stupid. No, I don't want to have to buy a game to then buy another thing to play. Like, whereas it's not the greatest thing in the world, but a perfect example of what we're talking about is Fortnite. Okay, It's free to play. All you got to do is download it, and you can play. After that, every time you spend money, completely optional. And the last thing I want to say is, all of that on top of the fact that this game is being compared to Overwatch. It is Overwatch, but like, Overwatch is first person. So like, you take all of that free game, optional spending money, blah blah blah. Guess what? You win. I'm gonna give you the money for the skins because I can actually see the skins. That's another thing I hate is first person.
Thing you were talking about before,
yeah, first person games that are like buy the skin. You can see your hands. What? I don't want to look at my hands if I buy a skin, bro. If I'm wearing Scarlet Spider Ben Riley, I want to see my cool ass blue hood.
I'm waiting for that to come out because you're not using it.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, but all I'm trying to say is like they've done nothing but be fully communicative. They've helped. They've laid out a perfect plan. Not only is the actual game and gameplay perfect and like good, but they're talking and they're showing you, hey, we're not gonna screw you over. Like, yes, we might charge you for stuff. It's gonna be completely optional. You're still gonna get to do whatever you want to do, and it's just gonna be. That's amazing. That's perfect.
And I pray that this game continues to get funding, for like they continue to like make enough money to keep doing. They're doing so.
Oh, they're definitely gonna.
And like, they're like the dude. He was like, yeah, we're not gonna make like this. Is not gonna be like EA Central.
Yeah.
Freaking. You have to put all your money everywhere.
I saw a video the other day talking about this, because I think part of all of what we're saying has to do with the fact that I saw that they used to be partnered with Blizzard. Like they used to work with Blizzard on Overwatch, and whatever happened, and they were beefing and they didn't work with each other. So like a lot of people are bringing up the fact that this is straight up the opposite of a love letter. This is like, hey Blizzard, frick you. We're gonna make a better version of Overwatch with Marvel characters.
We're better.
Yeah, it's just and they're proving it. And you said you hope they keep funding. All I've seen too is people just, I don't want to say glazing because that makes it sound bad, but glazing. People just being like, this is the greatest thing to touch gaming since whatever. Like this is awesome.
Guess who's glazing? It's
us.
I'm about it. We're glazing.
I will glaze all over this bad boy.
Gas, and if it continues to be gas, this is gonna be my favorite game. Maybe not the greatest game in everybody's, but isn't my favorite game of all time. It continues in the way it
Oh
was.
yeah,
And it
definitely
because-
favorite multiplayer game of all time for sure.
Yeah, this is gonna be freaking amazing.
Because that's the thing
It's
too.
insane with this.
It's
And the competitive, which you can't judge it off the alpha too much, was
Yeah.
fun.
it is fun.
I had a
It's
fun
competitive.
time
You know what I mean?
every game I played.
Yeah.
Other
The-
than when my friends were being turned. But every other time,
The only complaint I will allow myself to say, because there's really nothing to complain about, Nerf Scarlet Witch, Nerf Punisher, we're set. Perfect game.
yeah,
Perfect.
maybe
Because-
not even that bad.
Yeah.
Like, I think people are just dumb.
People
And
are
I
just
think they deal
dumb.
with Scarlet
People,
Witch
her,
and everything
you
else.
can. I think, I wouldn't. I'm not even talking about her ult. I think her ult is. I think you can. You're right. I think people are dumb. You can
That's
shield
true.
it. You can run away. It's not that bad. I'm more so talking about her sucky suck. Just limit the
Yeah.
range on that bad boy,
Yeah.
and we're good. That's all I want.
I hate that I can get just.
Because
sucked out of
sometimes
stuff like
I'm
that,
getting
man.
sucked off,
Oh my
and
God.
I'm like, "Where is she?" And I turn around, and she's a football field away to my left, and I'm like,
I can't even.
"Hello!"
Dude.
But
But Punisher needs to be nerfed.
Punisher 100% needs to be nerfed. If you're not running
Oh
Punisher,
my
if
God.
no one on your, if you're in comp and no one's on your team is running Punisher, even if there is no Rocket, no one's running Punisher, you're throwing.
Yeah,
That's
it's
just.
good. And that's,
But-
that's not how it should be. But
Yeah.
it's an alpha. That's what.
But
that's
exactly, it's an alpha, and on top of that, the rest of the gameplay was phenomenal. So like, we can't complain. It's a
So
gas
good.
game.
So good. Great note to end on. Plays the game.
Glazers, big time Glazers.
Praise
Portland
Nike,
Trail
baby.
Glazers.
People
That's what
hate
we
it.
are.
I was with y'all, baby. I was supporting Marvel Super War. Wish it would have been available in America, but I liked it. It was cool.
What the frick?
I
All
don't know
right.
about that.
Well, there you go. Marvel Rivals.
Like and subscribe.